Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Clarity Tarot and Astrology. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys are all doing very well and are excited for a brand new month. This is going to be your astrology overview for the month of November 2025. And as you guys can see on the screen, we have so much going on this month. This is going to be a busy one. So get ready for it. We have a Mercury retrograde. We have outer planets changing signs, creating big shifts. We have outer planets changing directions, also creating big shifts. And we have so much Scorpio energy this month, bringing the intensity. So, this is a month where you definitely want to pay attention. You want to know what's going on. You want to know how it is impacting your chart. So, we're going to go through all of the events for the month, and then we're going to break it down for each of the 12 signs. But before we dive in, I want to ask you guys, are you ready for 2026? I can't believe we are already in the month of November. This year has just flown by, and we're already into holiday season and needing to prepare ourselves for that. But before you get caught up in that whole whirlwind, you want to make sure that you also are setting your intentions for the new year. You don't want to wait until the new year. You want to go into the new year already knowing what your plan is, already knowing what your strategy is, already knowing what your theme is so you can hit the ground running. So I know that we're still a couple of, weeks away from the new year, but I did create this really fun quiz for you guys that you can use to start brainstorming and start thinking and getting in the mindset of 2026 because let's be honest, this year is basically over and whatever is in motion is in motion. Where we can really make a change and make a difference is in next year. And as I give you guys your 2026 content, you will understand why. So take a second, take some time to take this quiz. It's really going to help you to figure out what your priority is for 2026 and what you need to leave behind in 2025 in order to accomplish what you want in 2026. Okay. So the link for that will be down below in the description box. Go ahead and take that after you watched this video. All right, guys, November 2025. Let's go ahead and let's begin. Get your calendars out and let's talk about this month. So, on November 4th, Mars, the planet of action, is going to move out of the sign of Scorpio and move into the sign of Sagittarius. This is going to be a nice change, okay? With Mars and Scorpio, this definitely makes things very intense, and we're more introverted with this type of energy. Instead of exerting our energy outward, all of our energy has been going within. Now with Mars and Sagittarius, we can get back out there. We can move, we can travel, we can play, we can explore, we can adventure and have fun. So that's going to be a really nice change. We're not off the hook yet from Scorpio energy, and we'll talk about that. You'll see why, but this can just make you a little bit more optimistic, and this can get you out of your comfort zone. If you kind of feel like you've been like hermiting in a little bit, this will get you out there again, okay? Very next day, November 5th, we have our full moon of the month, and this full moon will be in the sign of Taurus. So you'll want to know where Taurus is for you. You're going to have an illumination here, there's going to be a culmination here, a completion of a situation here. And generally speaking, Taurus relates to our money. So we're going to be able to see what's going on with the money on a collective level. So this will be a very telling full moon of where's the economy going? Are things getting better or are things getting worse? We will be able to see that. November 5th. And I also reckon as well that we will have more information in regards to what is going on with this government shutdown as well at that time. So if you're following that or you're being affected by that, I think we'll have more information by the full moon. Next day, November 6th, Venus, the planet of love, money, beauty, and pleasure, is going to go into the sign of Scorpio. Okay, so this is going to bring a little bit of that intensity back, but it's going to be more in regards to relationships. And because Venus deals with money, we're going to be looking a lot at this time at our joint finances. So we're going to be looking at our debt, our taxes, our mortgage, our insurance. Things like this are going to become very top of mind. Any money matters that concern another person or an institution or a marketplace, those are going to become very top of mind. And again, just the day before, we have a full moon in Taurus. So we're already focused on our money, right? Taurus is our money that's in our bank account and our purse. Scorpio is the other people's money, money that comes from other people. So we're going into this month where we're very, very aware of what's going on with the money on an individual level and on a collective level. And the thing with Scorpio is any planet that goes into Scorpio comes out the other side transformed. So there's going to be some type of change when it comes to money, okay, for better or for worse. But that's what we're looking at this month. Very next day, November 7th, Uranus, the planet of unexpected events, unprecedented events, shocking events, moves back into the sign of Taurus. Okay. This is a big deal. Okay. Because number one, Uranus takes 8 years to transit one sign. So when it moves signs, that's very, very big. That's a rare event. Okay. Number two, Uranus being in Gemini, where it's been for the past couple of months, has been all about innovations and revolutions and unprecedented events in regards to the way that we communicate, the way that we learn, the way that we get around, the way that we share information. And of course, what have we seen the past couple of months? A huge boom in AI. A huge boom in AI. Self-driving cars. Okay, we're seeing, okay, this is where the world is going, right? At this point, we understand that. But now Uranus wants to go back into Taurus, telling us that, hey, there's something we need to work on here with the money. So again, money matters coming up, but now there's unprecedented, unexpected money matters coming up. And the thing with this Uranus is that it's affecting everyone differently. There are certain people right now that are having a difficult time, but there is another group of people that's making more money than they've ever made. So it's not across the board. It's not this is affecting everyone equally. It's very unequal. And so we're going to see that divide between people get bigger, okay? We're going to see some people, particularly people who are embracing technology, people who are embracing innovation, people who are embracing the future, their life is getting easier and easier. And those people are making more and more money, right? We have a lot of layoffs going on right now. That's due to the South Node being in Virgo. That's what's behind all of the layoffs and the government shutdown, et cetera, et cetera. So you have a lot of people who are relying on other entities for their means for their finances, and you're seeing that they're being impacted, right? But then those same exact people are also posting record profits. So, this is something that we have to start understanding. The world works differently. Before, you got rewarded by society for just being average, just go to work and do your job and come home, and you'll be able to pay for your life and pay for your bills. Uranus has been changing that. Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018. And we all know what happened, you know, in that time frame, right? From 2018 to now. We had very, very, very big changes to our world and the way that people make money. We had the whole work from home revolution, right? Like we've had really big changes in how we work. And so Uranus is coming back here to drive the point home again. Look, like if you want to make money, if you want to have stability, you have to embrace instability. You have to embrace something new. You have to do something different. You can't keep just doing the same old, following the same normal path and thinking everything's going to work out for you. The game has changed, and some people understand that and they're taking advantage of that. Not saying that it's good or bad, but some people just understand what's working now and what's not working, and they're doubling down on what's working, and they're, like I said, making record profit. Whereas if you keep doing the old way, it's just not going to work anymore. So we're going to see this popping up as well. Lots of conversation about the future of work and AI and what industries are affected and what should I do, and that's going to be a very big part of the conversation and narrative for the next couple of months. All right, couple days later, November 9th, Mercury retrograde. Yay. I actually really like Mercury retrograde, but it starts in the sign of Sagittarius, and it will work its way back into the sign of Scorpio. And again, now we're going to have all of this energy in Taurus and Scorpio. Okay, so this axis in your chart, whatever Taurus and Scorpio is for you, this axis is lit up this month. There's a push and pull between those two areas of your life this month. But generally speaking, on a collective level, we're talking about money here. Okay. All right. So Mercury retrograde starts on the 9th, November 11th. 2 days later, Jupiter goes retrograde. Oh boy. Okay. Jupiter goes retrograde. Now, Jupiter is actually the ruler of Sagittarius. So, how interesting that 2 days after the Mercury retrograde starts in Sagittarius, then the ruler of that sign goes retrograde as well. So, talk about a shift in the energy, talk about a change in direction. Like, there's gonna be a sharp change in the narrative this month. Like, you may have been trucking along in your life in a certain way this month, a turning point. And I hate to say turning point because I feel like myself and other astrologers, we say that all the time, but I mean, it just works. Um, and yeah, this is also another turning point here as well. So Jupiter is the planet that rules luck, abundance, and wisdom. And it's been in the sign of Cancer. It loves to be in the sign of Cancer. It really enjoys being here. And with it going direct, it brings outer blessings, outer, like in our material world, we're experiencing the blessings. Now with it going retrograde, the blessings are within. So what does that tell me? alongside everything that's going on here, that the outside world is going to be going through chaos. And if you have done the inner work, you'll be able to get through this time. It's the people that have no idea what's going on, who have been giving their power away, not paying attention, not doing that, not looking out for themselves, who look to the outer world for safety and stability. They're going to be really, really upset. Okay. But if you understand on a deep level, on an emotional level, right, with Cancer, that you are blessed, you are lucky, you are chosen, you are divine, you know that whatever's going on is not going to wreck you, it's not going to end you, it's not going to derail you, and you keep that faith, you will be fine, right? You will be fine. But there's going to be a lot of people that don't have that. They don't feel that way. They don't have that peace inside of them. And I think that we're going to start to see some things going on in the world that we're like, whoa, this is getting crazy. Especially with Jupiter and Mercury, where it's at the time, being in Sagittarius, we're talking about foreign affairs. So I think we'll see something pop up again in regards to foreign affairs. Okay. So that's going to be a shift of energy. So you have to go within. With this Jupiter retrograde, my advice is to go within, to not look at your outer world and be like, oh my God, everything's getting so hard, or everything's so difficult, or this situation's changing, and think, okay, that's it. I'm done. You know, I thought my life was good and now it's not. It's going, no, I still have a good life and everything's still good. This is just a temporary time and a temporary situation. And I'm going to learn from this, right? The whole point of Jupiter ultimately is you learn. That's the abundance, is having the abundance of knowledge, having the abundance of wisdom. So if you take that approach, you'll do fine. Okay, next day. Third quarter moon in Leo. Leo is all about our self expression and creativity and love and joy and passion. And we're having a third quarter moon here. So we are rethinking something, or we're redoing something, or reviewing something, so we're changing something. We're having to adjust something. And that to me says like things are probably getting a little bit serious and we're having to put certain things on the back burner, not forever, maybe just temporarily for a period of time. So, and that's the last month of the lunar month. That's the last month of the Libra lunar month that started in October. Okay, so we're going to be wrapping up whatever we have started during that month and getting ready to go into a new lunar month that will be coming shortly. Then November 18th, Mercury retrograde will come back into the sign of Scorpio. Okay, so here's where the intensity turns up a notch again. And we're having to redo something, review something, rework something, have a conversation about something in regards to, again, joint financial matters, debt, taxes, mortgage, insurance, alimony, child support, these types of matters come up again. And if it's not that, it's something to do with our own personal transformation journey or something to do with our intimacy or in our intimate life. Something's coming up again there. So what that tells me is that any of those themes that pops up for you around this time, this is not the final draft, okay? It's a first draft, or it's the first time of working this out, and you'll have to go back over it and review it and work this area again. Okay, but just be prepared, because Scorpio is already a deep sign, and with Mercury being there, it already makes our mind very, very deep, and we're very skeptical and critical and trying to figure things out and reading between the lines. But with it being retrograde, it's like taking that like times 20. So you're just going really, really, really deep into things and bringing things up from the surface and seeing things from a perspective that you haven't seen before. So, and I think that can be really good. Like I said, I quite like Mercury retrograde because it helps you to see things from another perspective. And sometimes that perspective can really help to free you and to show you that there's a better way. So, with it happening in such a deep sign of Scorpio, it's showing like, there's some really, really, really deep changes that we're probably going to make as a result of what comes up during this particular Mercury retrograde. All right, then 2 days later, we have a new moon. So, this starts off a brand new lunar month, and this is a new moon in Scorpio. So, again, Scorpio, we're still dealing with intensity. We're still dealing with intimate matters, financial matters, uh, deep psychological matters. And it's a new beginning in this area of our life. And this new moon is happening at 28 degrees, which, yes, is a Cancer degree. But what I want to highlight more about the fact that it's at 28 degrees is that this is at the end of a sign. And when you have things happening at the end of a sign, it denotes maturity, completion, things reaching to its fullest potential. So it does feel like things in this area, or things at this time, are, yes, it's a new beginning, but it's a new beginning that really sticks, and the outcome is strong. So I feel pretty positive about this new moon, and of course we'll dive a little bit deeper into it. But I think regardless of whatever comes up with the new moon, the intention of it is to create more stability in this area of life. Okay. Next day, November 21st, the sun will move into Sagittarius. So, happy birthday to all of my Sagittarius people. This will be when you want to get your soul return reading done. Okay. But the moon going into the sun going into Sagittarius, that starts Sagittarius season, and that will bring a much different energy, a bit more lightness, a bit more optimism, a bit more positivity, and a focus on the bigger picture, which could be really nice after all of the scorpionic energy that we are experiencing. Then on November 27th, Saturn turns direct in Pisces, and this is a big deal, okay? Especially for those of you who are Saturn ruled, those of you who are Capricorn, Aquarius, or who have strong, Capricorn and Aquarius. You'll be quite happy about this. But this is quite a big deal, because it's the movement of Saturn going into Aries that is a part of the huge change and the huge transition that we are experiencing next year in 2026. Saturn's going to be a major player next year. So, it already dipped into Aries. We've already had a little bit of a taste of what's to come. And it went back into Pisces to wrap some things up. And this is wrapping things up from the past 29 years. So, there's been some major, major endings and major culminations. And, you know, there's just so much of the past that we've had to work through. And with Saturn going direct now and starting to work its way back to Aries, we can finally start to really begin working on the new and moving forward in our life without carrying the weight and the karma and the lessons of the past. Okay, we can genuinely start fresh, and that's going to feel great. So, this is really, really nice. But also, in the same breath, with Saturn direct, we can feel more heaviness in our life as well. At least when Saturn is retrograde, it's not really um, creating this energy in our material world. It's something that we experience more within. So, it's like pick your battle, right? Which one do you feel is better? And it's a very personal thing, but I think this is good. Honestly, I'd prefer Saturn to just move forward so we can start working on the new. All right, next day, November 28th, we will have the first quarter moon in Pisces. Okay, so very interesting that Saturn turns direct in Pisces, and the next day we have a first quarter moon in Pisces. So, what that tells me is that with the shifting of Saturn and with Saturn moving forward, we have to change. We have to change. We have to let go of old karmic lessons, and there's a lot of karma that a lot of people are carrying from the past. A lot of things that people are carrying that they're not wanting to let go. And it's going to become very, very evident like what has just run its course and what just doesn't work in your life and what just can't remain in your life. And we're going to be challenged to, begin letting go and healing and releasing those things now. Next day, November 29th, Mercury goes direct. Yay. Mercury retrograde ends. However, we are not out of the woods yet. As with every Mercury retrograde, it has a pre shadow portion, it has a post shadow portion. So we're not free and clear at that particular moment. But what that means is that now Mercury is going to go back over the degrees that it retrograded over. So, whatever came up during the retrograde, now you got to deal with it again, but now you can deal with it in a better way, right? In a more permanent way. So, that's where actually after the retrograde, that's where the real transformation takes place, right? During the retrograde, the inner transformation occurs, and then during the direct portion, the outer transformation occurs. So we're still in the woods there, but until it gets back to that 6 degrees of Sag where it started, we're not quite out of the woods. All right, November 30th, last day we'll speak of in this portion of the video. Venus moves into Sag. Okay, so here's where things again are starting to trend towards being a little bit lighter. So I reckon that this will be a little bit of an intense Thanksgiving, and things should lighten up a little bit by Christmas. That's what I would plan for. Okay. All right. So that's your month overview. I hope that was helpful. I hope you feel a little prepared and ready. Let's now go into each of the 12 signs and let's see what everyone specifically needs to know. I recommend starting off with your rising sign first. That's how it's going to actually play out in your real life. And then beyond that, depending on the type of person you are, you want to look at your sun or moon. So you want to look at the sun if you're trying to manifest something, build something, make something happen, or in regards to your career, if you're a masculine energy. If you're a feminine energy and you want to know how you're going to feel about this, how you're going to be perceiving this on an emotional level, then the moon is going to make more sense. And the moon would also relate more to like your home and family situation. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and let's begin, of course, with Aries and Aries rising.